Welcome back. You're watching NewsX. My name is Vineet. The Ketan Agarwal murder case has shocked the country with its chilling allegations of love, betrayal and meticulously planned crime. 26-year-old Pune-based realtor Ketan Agarwal lost his life after falling from a cliff at Lohagad Fort on the 18th of June. What was initially believed to be a tragic accident later turned into a murder investigation after police claimed the fall was a part of a pre-planned conspiracy. Police have arrested Ketan's fiancée, Siya Goyal, and her alleged boyfriend, Chetan Chaudhary, accusing them of conspiring to kill him just months before their scheduled wedding. Investigators allege that the duo carefully planned the murder, reportedly conducted rehearsals, used pre-decided signals, and even tried to evade digital surveillance to make the death appear as an accident. As the probe deepens, new revelations are emerging almost every day, from alleged evidence tampering to fresh forensic and digital clues. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show at this point in time is Brinda Dige, women rights activist, Mr. Sanjay Pandey, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, Sukumar Joshi, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, and last but by no means the least, Mr. Gurmukh Singh Arora, advocate Supreme Court, also joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Joshi, I'll begin with you, sir. Sir, prima facie on whatever you have seen in the media and the kind of crime this is, it was a conspiracy to kill, it was pre-planned, it was done for a very frivolous reason at that as well. How would you classify this crime, sir, and what kind of punishment do you think is befitting for something so heinous?
Good evening, Binit and our viewers. To begin with, in fact, I'll just give a 30-second background of this. Firstly, I'll mince no words to say that the accused persons or the alleged committer of crimes in our jurisprudence are presumed to be innocent. And at this stage, it is only allegations. So the question of what kind of punishment will be too premature to talk about. And in the ongoing investigation, there is an ongoing investigation. Neither the allegation against Siya Goyal or her boyfriend Chetan Chaudhary has been proved anywhere or established. And therefore, both remain entitled under the law to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Second, the case background, as you know, on 18th June 2026, an information of a accidental fall and killing of somebody, later on discovered that could be a murder, and also openly the investigators are claiming that there is an alleged conspiracy which was planned over several months. Also, they are saying that there are multiple attempts already made on Ketan Agarwal for killing, but finally they succeeded now. The allegations are against these two accused persons are that they intended to erase all digital evidence. And also they had planned to delay their own marriages thereafter. Also, the investigators are examining alleged tampering of Ketan Agarwal, the deceased's mobile phone, after he was killed. On this, and today, in fact, with the turn of the events, the two persons have been taken into police custody and they are being interrogated. Right. The first legal point what emanates is that they are in police custody and not in judicial custody as yet. The distinction, of course, all of you know that the police continuously tries to investigate, interrogate and things like that, and they are directly under the control of the police. And in this, the police is hopeful that they'll get more materials, they'll examine in their custody, they'll examine them, confront with witnesses or co-accused, verification of electronic and forensic material will be done. Also, they say that with this effective investigation, they will come to some more evidences. One thing I'm saying that in the case is in the public interest, it is understandable, but the investigation must remain evidence driven and not media driven. So therefore, the first question you said that what sort of punishment, etc., probably too premature for me as a lawyer to even suggest.
Understood, sir. Understood.
Yes, right.
Let me let me also bring
Yeah.
in Gurmukh into this conversation and understand from him, as a lawyer, as somebody who has dealt with criminal law extensively. Gurmukh, what do you think is going on over here? Obviously, nothing should be a media trial. It should all be based on evidence. But we are getting to hear things. We are learning that this has been something which has been pre-planned. It's very meticulous. It's been a conspiracy to kill an innocent man.
So the fact as of today is that, of course, this is a cold-blooded murder case. This is a fact that prosecution is relying on, and the other fact that is permanent and no one can disagree with is that a person, a very young guy, has lost his life, and has lost his life wherein he was in relationship and was about to marry a girl, and the circumstances revolving around all these cases, and specifically this case, reveals that this was not only an accident but was a pre-planned murder. Now the prosecution has specifically dealt with lot of evidences. They've seen that multiple attempts were already made by the fiance and his boyfriend, so-called boyfriend, and all of this led to this case and this murder. But the factual point, if we see from a prosecution point of view, is that ultimately the prosecution will have to prove this guilt beyond doubt. So there are a lot of things, and basically in this particular case, apart from digital evidence, which are the videos or the CDRs, the prosecution will have to, make a chain of circumstantial evidences which can prove their guilt. So of course, everyone is proved innocent unless they are proved guilty. But in this particular scenario, the circumstances that revolve around this case specifies that yes, one innocent man has been murdered, and that innocent man has been murdered by an individual who was about to get married. So this particular scenario has thrashed the mindset of young individuals. We've been looking at all the news channels. We've been talking to a lot of young individuals who have now been so scary just to get married. So this not only has an impact towards society in terms of a crime, but also towards the marriage also. So ultimately, it's not only the people who will look this as a crime, but also that how far some people can go only to get rid of some obstacles. So in this particular scenario, this individual who has lost his life was considered as an obstacle. So people today do not have guts just to say no to a marriage, but they have guts to do something which is beyond imagination.
That's a good point. Brinda DK is also with us on the broadcast. Brinda ji, I hope you can hear me, ma'am.
Yes, I can.
And Gurmukh has raised a fantastic point that this entire episode, this cold-blooded murder, has also brought the institution of marriage into some irreparable disrepute.
Well, I wouldn't go so far to say that
We're
the
just dabbling with the
institution of
idea,
marriage
ma'am.
has been, it's not repairable. You and I know that for decades, women have got married, husbands have bumped off the women, some of them have been forced to commit suicide, and the institution of marriage continues, arranged marriage continues, love marriage continues, intercaste, interreligion, all of it goes on. Today, the entire, we are very deeply patriarchal and sexist. Whether we are men or women is secondary. Even trans persons, we are deeply patriarchal, and we often talk from a position of power. And that position of power is, how could this woman bump off her fiancé? I mean, this has never happened. Now it is happening, and young people are now worried that they do not want to get into marriage. But there are a lot of young people still getting into live-in relationships, boyfriends, girlfriends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it might be. What we want to question today is the role of the state, where it talks about policies and laws for protection of lives. Now, whether it is a male life or a female life, both are precious. We do not say any life is less or more. Violence, gender based violence, has continued for eons now in under various garb, whether it might be dowry, it may be domestic violence, it could be because she gave birth to 2 3 girl children, all kinds of reasons, excuses, or she has another affair, whatever it might be. Of late we are seeing some women pairing up with either their partners or their friends, and husbands are murdered and killed, or partners or fiancés. And we want to talk about the entire institution of marriage itself. This is exactly what women's rights activists have been talking for very, very long time. Marriage as an institution cannot be a settlement, which it has become, where even in general parlance, we talk about children and we ask, how old are they? Are they settled? What does settled mean? Not in a job, not that they've got doctorates. Settled means, are they married? Which is the most unsettling thing, of course. But are they married? So the patriarchal mindset needs to be questioned. The other part of it is there any fear of repercussions, consequences? We haven't seen it. Why are we not seeing it? Because we see that the courts take a very long time to pronounce a judgment or an order that penalizes criminal action. Usually, when a man kills or murders a woman, it's termed as crime of passion. In a fit of anger, he did this. He suspected her. So here it is not a fit of anger. Here it is a lot of connivance, a lot of plotting and planning and convincing, and then the person has been murdered.
Fair enough, ma'am. Fair enough.
So this is what we want to question.
We have some
Not
breaking
just
news.
go
Yeah.
ahead and
I understand. We have some breaking news coming in as well. In the Lohagad Fort murder case, investigators have decided to seek a polygraph test of accused Siya Goyal. Siya Goyal, along with her boyfriend Ketan Chaudhary, is alleged to have pushed her fiancé Ketan Agarwal off a cliff at the Lohagad Fort. Police say the decision has been taken in view of the absence of direct eyewitnesses and CCTV footage in the case. Investigators believe this could complicate the probe in the high-profile murder case, and the polygraph test is being sought even though its results are not admissible as primary evidence in court. Let me also get a reaction from Mr. Pat Joshi on this. Mr. Pat Joshi, your reaction, sir, on this argument about patriarchy as well as the institution of marriage, and how even the parents, more or less were not able to figure out that the girl was not ready for this kind of a marriage.
I think Brindaji has made a point on that, and having heard Gurmukh and this, I agree with both of them on their different perspectives. But this is not really on parenting or something. These are cases. What he say on patriarchy, because probably she could not gather courage because of the upbringing. I don't know, in fact, can't comment. This will be very unfair without knowing the total detailed backgrounds. But theoretically speaking, she probably could not muster courage to open up and say that this is what I want. And that is certainly patriarchy. And because of that only everything led to, I don't think she is a trained criminal or something, this conspiracy angle, etc. Of course, for months they are planning. That also under this only, that because she could not ventilate what she wanted. Had she been given that the society was free enough to accept what she wants, and they are very well-off people, so the girl marries X or Y of her choice, doesn't unsettle the girl. Like you are saying, the settlement, Bindaji said, that it doesn't unsettle the girl if she marries X instead of Y, because that is her choice. So that probably solves, that's another angle of social, and I am also a student of social work, and that's why I am a trained social worker. So that angle is different, but today I am given the job to describe the legal part of this. So today what I will conclude with this, that the investigation does not end with arrest. In fact, it starts, in a way it restarts. And now, in fact, you said that various other tests they are suggesting. The most important point that will be the arrest also doesn't declare the guilt, right? So therefore, the most important thing the investigator have to do is timely work. So they have to file their charge sheet in time after completing the evidence. They do it. Otherwise, it doesn't really bring out the real things. Whatever it needs to investigate, they must do everything. They must not leave any stone unturned. And at that, then they carry the biggest burden of proving all these allegations, which they say that we think that publicly they are saying that for months they are planning to kill, all etc. etc. I'm not really touching your social angle because there I can speak on and on. That's my subject. But today I'm called as a senior advocate, so I'll confine to the law. And therefore, the most important is that investigation must be thorough, it should be impartial, free from external pressure, and the court and not the public opinion should determine the criminal liability. And also those background, whether somebody did it because of the social pressure or not, is not important today. That's another angle Brindaji would talk later on. Definitely, because that is a thing that is a very slow progress going on in our society, though we expect that the men and women both should have the entitlement, equal entitlement to say their feelings, their rights, etc. But having said that, this now is the time to, at the earliest, determine the liability based on admissible evidences. So the most important thing in hand for the prosecution to muster evidences, impeccable evidences, because there is no direct witness as of now, as nothing has come on record. And also they themselves have said that there is no CCTV footage or something which is showing somebody giving a push or something in killing. So therefore, the foremost thing the prosecution minimum and maximum they can do is to do a impartial, fair investigation to prove their theory and the allegations. So that's probably will, so far as this case is concerned, will rest. But the society needs definite change. I'm for that. And these instances also show that what kind of values we are giving to our children today. So whether we are making them bold enough, are we making them ambassadors of their life to say whatever they want, what they aspire to, what they get. It's a very small thing according to me. In fact, between choices of career, education or a marriage, I think the marriage is the most unimportant one to choose. And there also you don't get a freedom. That's
Right,
a
sir.
very...
So we have some more breaking news coming in. A police officer involved in the Lohagad Fort murder case investigation has said that the proposed lie detector test of accused Siya Goyal and co-accused Ketan Agarwal may help uncover further clues. The officer said that the test could help reveal information that, according to the investigation team, may have been concealed so far. He added that the case lacks direct eyewitnesses and digital evidence and is currently being built on circumstantial proof. The remarks come as police move ahead with plans for polygraph testing in the high-profile case as well. Gurmukh, circumstantial evidence at best. A polygraph will be conducted. Now, this is a technique which has been controversial in the past as well. What do you make of it?
So the Honorable Supreme Court has already clarified in Ketinov judgments that either it's polygraph test or it's narco-analysis or it's a brain mapping test. These tests cannot happen without prior consent of the accused persons. Because of course, every individual in our country has right against self-incrimination, which is settled under Article 20, subclause 3. Now, unless and until they give a consent that yes, we agree to do so, and we agree for a polygraph test, even if the police gets their polygraph test done against their will, it would be invalid. Now, coming to the point that even if the polygraph test is done, now what would be its consequences? So, unless and until the polygraph test unleashes and reveals something new which helps the police officials to get something more apart from which they already have, which could support their prosecution, unless then this would be of no use. So this test has always been in challenge, and in most of the cases these tests are performed in such cases wherein there is not much evidence available with the prosecution. So in this particular scenario, as we say, like there is no direct evidence, the police and the prosecution has to rely on certain circumstantial evidences, and all those circumstantial evidences has to form a particular chain, and every evidence has to be connected with other evidences so that it can be proved that on these all basis, these all circumstances, this crime was committed, and this particular crime, which is a murder crime, took place on basis of all these evidences. So unless and until a complete chain of evidence is not available, only and only a polygraph test would not suffice.